Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar today. Today we'll be discussing Salesforce services, Salesforce itself, and the custom professional services that we can offer around the solution to help tailor it to your business. We thank you for joining us. Now, before we get started, I'd like to take just a minute to talk about housekeeping. We have you all muted on entry, just to keep things a little quieter for the presenters, but we certainly welcome questions at any time. So we would ask you, please use the chat dialog box within the webinar interface to send your questions to our moderator, and those will be then sent to myself and the other presenter so that we can address those either as we're speaking, or most likely we'll address those kind of in a group at the end of today's presentation. So again, please feel free to send your questions at any time as they come up, and then we'll queue those up and address those at the end. So with that, let's go ahead and get started today. As I mentioned, thank you for joining us. We are all covered. We are the IT Services Division of Konica Minolta Business Solutions. We were established in 1997, and we're headquartered out here in Foster City, California. We are a full-service managed service provider, so we provide the network, server, and infrastructure monitoring for our clients, as well as cloud facilities and application support, which is why we're here to talk to you today about Salesforce and the unique solutions that we can offer in this particular arena. We have more than 800 employees, all domestically here in the United States, with over 600 engineers with industry certifications and relevant industry experience. We pride ourselves on being a full-service provider for all of the IT needs of our client, whether it's network monitoring support and help desk, or unique application integration and customization, as we'll be talking about today. So what is a CRM? Certainly the IT industry is just loaded with three-letter acronyms, whether it's ECM, ERP, GSC. All of these are some type of reference to a line of business application designed to do a specific task. For instance, ECM is Enterprise Content Management, managing all of your documents and content for collaborations. ERP has long been a term used for enterprise resource plannings, the Oracles and the SAPs, the Lawsons of the world that are doing large-scale accounting and client applications. A CRM is another term that we hear a lot within the application space, and it stands for Customer Relationship Management. And what a CRM system is, it allows organizations and businesses to manage their relationships that they have. So it could be their relationship with their clients, with their other vendors, with partners. Any relationship that is important to driving a business process can be handled in a CRM system. And of course, then it keeps track of all the data and information that's associated with those entities that the customer relationship management system is tracking. Salesforce specifically is a fully customizable, cloud-hosted CRM solution. In fact, it's the world's leading CRM solution with almost 20% market share, and it's ranked as a leader in Gartner's CRM Magic Quadrant. The features and benefits of Salesforce are numerous in that it's a fully customizable solution to meet the individual customer's need. It allows for team collaboration and knowledge sharing, again, a way of tracking what individuals are doing with regards to that relationship with the client or the business partner, and then being able to share the status of that relationship and details about meetings and conversations and phone calls and next steps and all of the things that are important in managing a business relationship can be documented and kept track of within the system and then easily shared. And then a great feature that it has is the ability to report on that, so that not only can individuals run specific reports, but also management and other interested stakeholders can see what it is they need to know about those particular relationships. And they get ability to search that because it's stored on a back-end structured database. It's very searchable through common reporting tools. And it also has great mobile apps. so that you can use the Salesforce mobile app to access that same information from any device, from any location. Additionally, Salesforce offers social networking and user profiles so that it integrates right into social media marketing tools, provides for workflows, and integration to Office so that I can integrate my Word documents, I can integrate Outlook, and most importantly, items from the Outlook calendar, and see that those will flow in and out of Salesforce and into Outlook. It's also integrated with multiple applications that are available so that we get project management or call centers or electronic signatures. All of those can be kind of added into and integrated into the Salesforce functionality. It has a rich set of APIs for developers or for use by custom development shops such as ourselves to kind of tweak and optimize the Salesforce interface and the tools within Salesforce to the particular business needs of our client. Because it's a cloud-based solution, it's very scalable. And again, it makes it very easy to scale up and scale down. And they sell it in a per-user model. So it's not punitive to smaller organizations. The initial investment isn't large to purchase your own in-house servers and the software associated with that, as it is with many larger systems. This is why we often don't see mass adoption of broader ERP systems in the small and medium business market space because it's very expensive and daunting to create that own platform yourself and then scale and customize it. But Salesforce makes it very easy by hosting all of that in the cloud and then making it available per user. It's often worth looking at for businesses of every size who are looking to improve the way they handle their CRM. I mean, let's face it, we've all been at different stages of development with different companies that use an Excel spreadsheet as their CRM model, and Word documents are just taking notes, or heaven forbid the real old school model of tracking customer relationships with Post-it notes tacked all around the edge of your monitor. And again, the goal of this application is to consolidate all of those important bits of information into one place so that it's shareable and searchable and really becomes a powerful tool for a business of any size. One of the great things about Salesforce is that it is not structured in a way that forces you to change your business processes to meet the way the software is done. Right? They haven't, while they certainly have put in numerous number of fields and built-in ways of tracking leads and opportunities and things that are typically common across most businesses, those aren't set in stone because out-of-the-box solutions often don't fit the individual needs of a business and the way you do business, the workflows that you've established that work in your local market or for your vertical market segment. Sometimes we see that within our own business, our dealings with financial services or healthcare markets, or heaven knows the education market is very different than some of our common markets, just because sales cycles are longer, there are more contacts, more stakeholders involved, more meetings that need to take place and need to be documented. It could be RFPs that need to be responded to. All of these differ by business, by industry segment. So the great thing about Salesforce and working with a consultant such as All Covered is that ability to help you customize and to leverage those APIs and the modular nature of the application to uniquely fit your business needs. We can change fields, objects, we can modify and create workflows, any other elements that are needed to be customized to uniquely work with the way that you do business. Now, another important aspect that a good Salesforce integrator consultant brings to the table is that ability to integrate this application with other apps and systems. and we've seen this in our own internal use of Salesforce, is that, again, oftentimes Salesforce is the first place that an organization comes in contact with All Covered or with us, and it's in Salesforce that we first capture, their name, where they're located, who some of the contacts are. But if we're successful in doing further business with them, there could be other systems that need access to that same information. There could be client ticketing systems, account management, call center software, billing systems, quoting and pricing tools. There could be electronic signature and document repositories that need to leverage this information as well. And so rather than redundantly enter that information, we can simply integrate it between the back-end database of Salesforce and these other systems that are natural kind of downstream consumers of data that is kind of authoritatively held within the Salesforce database. So we can integrate there. Likewise, we can do the opposite. It may be that the Salesforce itself is a consumer of data from some other system within my organization, and it would be best for me to integrate those tables and those data structures and have those update back and forth. And we can help with that. Having a Salesforce consultant involved can help to map those fields and make those pushes take place. Another great help that a Salesforce consulting organization can provide is data migration. Let's face it, as I mentioned a few slides ago, you're probably using something for CRM, whether you know it or not, whether that's as simple as an Excel spreadsheet, or perhaps you're using ACT or some other online tool that allows you to keep certain information. Odds are you'll want to take that information and migrate it into Salesforce so that you don't have to recreate dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of customer records. Better to take those from that legacy CRM system. Again, if it's Post-it notes, we probably can't help. But anything above that, anything where that data is already electronic, even if it just resides in an Excel spreadsheet, we can sort on those tables, parse those particular cells, and align those to the proper fields in Salesforce so that the address field comes over in address and the contact names come over in the appropriate contact names field within Salesforce. And we can do all of that kind of data mapping and alignment, working with you. Sometimes a migration is a great time to purge data that you don't use. Why import something that's really ended up not being relevant? But again, as part of the initial design and that consulting process of mapping your existing data to Salesforce, we'll help you work with that and then take care of the technology on the back end that will actually allow that push to happen, and then help you with there's always a validation and an acceptance phase anytime you're migrating data from one system to another, so that we can help you do that and make sure that the format of the fields, sometimes there are things that some data points you get careless with over time. Did you always enter the zip +4, or did you just enter the 5-digit zip code? And is that important? So again, during a data migration is a great time to identify those data fields and to clean them up if necessary. Now, one of the things that we are here to help you with is the Salesforce development, the design, and the consulting. We are anxious and able to help you plan, deploy, and provide the ongoing support for your customized Salesforce solution so that you get the most from your investment in Salesforce's CRM technology, and that you get it delivered to you in a usable format that maps to and aligns with your business process. That's what All Covered's here to help you with. So what I'd like to do now is talk a little bit about some customer success stories that we've seen from our Salesforce team. And I have joining me today is Samira Crisp. Good afternoon, Samira. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
So
Good afternoon to you too.
Thanks. Afternoon. Actually, I guess you're in Dallas. So yeah, it is just barely the afternoon. Anyway, we're welcoming Samira here today. Samira is one of our lead application engineers, and she helps drive the process with our client base as far as their Salesforce integration. So the first story that we'd like to talk about, and I'll be asking Samira a few questions to to reverse roles on her, to let her be the one interviewed and get the details from her. The first customer is a solar energy company that we help with. They have 5 locations in Nevada and Texas. So, Samara, I understand one of the first things that we do is engage in a consulting, kind of an interview with the client. So tell me, what are the typical questions that you ask during a client interview?
Well, when we first go in to see the client, we talk to management and have them identify their power users in each department or group that they want to use Salesforce in. Then we go in and talk to that person, and we ask them about the processes that are currently being followed, what kind of forms they're using, and what they need to make their jobs easier to complete. We then ask for documentation about all of their current processes if they have it, and if it's not, we create that documentation for them from the client interview. And we have management review it to make sure that that's what they're expecting to see. And this allows us to set up Salesforce to meet the needs that they've identified.
Terrific. Wow, you actually run into organizations that don't have their processes documented. I think I've worked for that organization a few times in the past. Let me ask you, Samara, what was the most important issue that came out of these interviews?
Well, at this particular client, their salesmen were doing paper contracts in the field, and they weren't always getting back to the office in a timely manner so that they could do payment processing from their funding sources and they could schedule the installations. They also complained about having to enter duplicate data multiple times.
Interesting. So how did you customize Salesforce to address this issue?
Okay. With the issue with the contracts, we actually set up a custom screen in Salesforce for the salesman to use to enter all the contract data while they were in the home with the client. And when the information is complete, they actually generate the contracts electronically, and they use their tablet to host signing for the client. When the client signs the contract, it's automatically mailed then to the client and to their customer service department and their finance department and also their installation department. And a copy is dropped into the record in Salesforce as well.
Excellent. And so what do we do? What's our ongoing relationship with the client? What are we doing for them now?
Currently, we're providing ongoing Salesforce administrative support because they didn't have anyone in-house to administer Salesforce, and they have over 100 employees in the field. And we're also working with them on a marketing piece so that they can do referral marketing from their satisfied clients.
Terrific. So again, folks, here we see an example of kind of a multi-layered approach in that we had some initial concerns, some initial items that we could take care of for this client, smoothing out their, documenting their processes and smoothing out their order entry processes so that we can speed that up. We could get the right documents, the signed documents, to the right people within the organization quickly. But then additionally, it sounds like we have some additional benefits that we're providing over time. The most interesting of which to me seemed to be that ongoing using Salesforce as a marketing tool, being able to leverage the information from these satisfied clients. I think we all know one of the best leads that come into us are those that are brought to us by our long-term satisfied clients. We get a tremendously high conversion rate of those leads to successful wins. And here, with the work we've done with this solar company, we're able to help them start that process of capturing their client success stories and then turning those into future marketing efforts. I think they'll see some tremendous success from those efforts. So I'd like to take a look at another one. We had a jeweler based in Dallas, Texas. So what were they using, Samira, before they used Salesforce to manage their clients?
Okay, they were using their point-of-sale software that they've been running for about 15 years. That's based on FoxPro. They were having to run reports nightly to generate the list of people who had come into the organization or into the client to to request sales information. These salespeople were going from these lists, and they were making phone calls from that. They weren't able to do their follow-up very easily. They weren't able to email easily or make calls easily from that software.
All right, so it sounds like one of their major problems was that kind of archaic paper-based way of doing things, having to run that list every night, and then rely on the salespeople to follow up from that. So let me ask you, how did All Covered improve their business process using Salesforce?
Okay, well, we added fields to the standard objects of Salesforce, the accounts, contacts, and opportunities, to hold the data from the point of sale system. And then we set up an hourly import of that data using flat files and pulling that data into Salesforce. Then we also added a sync to Outlook so that they could view the account information for those customers in Outlook and do emails from there. And when they're able to do that, they also can attach emails from Outlook into the Salesforce record for that client, so they're able to view everything in one single place. The salesman can now quickly contact their customers.
Terrific. Now, what about, you mentioned they had a previous system that was based on their point of sale software at FoxPro, but how did you handle the data from the previous system?
Well, because the data was from FoxPro, it wasn't easily migratable into Salesforce unless we came from a flat file. So we worked with their vendor, and the vendor created a flat file for us that's created every hour automatically, and then we use a tool called Scribe Online to import that data from the flat file into Salesforce.
And that's often the case with data integrations. They can be they're a little tricky, and sometimes it needs a kind of an intermediate step to get data out of one proprietary system and into a more open system like Salesforce. But sounds like you were able to come up with a clever mechanism to make that happen. So thanks. Now, what we'd like to do now is actually hand the ball over to Samira and make her the presenter and let her walk us through. I'll ask her a few questions here and walk us through kind of some of the normal tasks associated with Salesforce, and get you an idea of how this tool might be relevant and useful to your organizations as well. So hopefully, Samira, we'll let you, you should be the presenter now. We'll let you share your screen, and we'll go from there. All right, it looks like we can all see Samira's screen now. So let me ask you a few questions. So, Samira, how do you start your day in SharePoint?
Salesforce. In Salesforce, we actually open up, we log in, and we go into the home screen. And there we might see chatter messages from other employees and notices on what's been updated in Salesforce. I also look at my tasks. When you set up a task in Salesforce, it appears on your task list. And I also look at my calendar. When I'm looking, anytime I have an appointment that's scheduled, it's going to appear on my calendar.
Terrific. So again, it looks like I can, just at a quick glance, see all of the kind of the hot items for the near future. Any appointments or tasks or maybe phone calls, things I need to follow up on. Now, I noticed before you scroll down across the top of the tabs there was one that said leads, right? That immediately caught my attention. So tell me, can you show me, how do I see my leads and how do I get started working on them?
Okay. We set this up so that I see my personal leads when I come in this morning, and I click on the Leads tab. And these are the leads that are assigned to me currently. So it's very easy and very simple to just begin working on them by clicking on Leads and viewing my leads. To go into a record, you just simply click that record.
Oh, now tell me, where do these leads come from?
Okay, these leads can come from multiple places. They can be leads that I entered myself. They can come from our website where our customer has entered data into a form and submitted it, or they can be created from a list that our company's purchased, and they then imported into Salesforce.
Okay, can this be automated?
It can be. The items that come from the web can drop automatically into Salesforce, and we can automate the process so that we set up rules so that if it comes perhaps from a certain region or state, it's assigned to this person that needs it, or if it's for a particular product that someone supports, that can be assigned to that person who supports it automatically using rules.
Terrific. Now, have we done anything to customize the lead data for our clients?
We have. We have actually added fields to the leads, to the common lead object, to meet their business priorities.
Right. So this lead, certainly the default lead screen, now that comes standard with Salesforce, correct?
It does come standard with Salesforce.
And then we have some options to modify or change those if there's a need on the client side, correct?
Correct.
Excellent. Okay, so from the lead comes in and I start working that lead. Let's say someone visits my web page and requests more information. So this creates a lead which now shows up here in my lead queue. But suppose they're not in my system yet. Suppose it's a new hit on my website. They've requested information that converts to a lead. What happens?
I simply, when the lead comes in, we review it. And to convert it in our system, all we have to do is actually just click here on Convert. And we convert it at this point to an account and also to a contact.
So what's the difference between an account and a contact?
An account is the company, and you would have a single company record, but you can have multiple contacts at a company. Those are the people that you're going to talk to.
Okay, so this person came to my website, they're intrigued, they want more information, they're totally new to me, and just with that click of the button, I can take them from a lead and establish them as an account. So that's the whole organization. Say in this case it was F Triple Inc. Right, is the account. So that's the company.
Correct.
And then I can also create a contact under that. Now, this is the individual that I'm going to call and ask for. And I guess maybe over time I'll get more contacts as people come and go, or as I get introduced to the heads of other departments who might be interested in my services. And again, I suppose if I'm doing this right, I could have multiple opportunities with multiple points of contacts within this common account. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Excellent. I see. That's what you're showing me now here. So we just have one contact with this one that was just converted, though. So how would I add a new contact?
All you have to do is click here on New Contact.
Okay. Well, it's that easy. Well, then again, it's easy to do with Post-it notes too. But I suppose this is a little easier to keep track of. All right. So. So now I've got the lead came in. I've tracked down this contact. I've talked with them, and there's something tangible here. They really well, this is a great it's a good possibility here. So what comes next? I suppose it's a sales opportunity.
Yes, it is.
So how do I work with an opportunity?
Okay, you simply open it up, and you can open that up from the lead or from the account or from the contact.
So now this was automatically created when I hit that convert button?
It was, yes.
Got it. And I probably have an option to do that or not do that?
Yes, you do. When you click on convert, you can either check a box that says do not create an opportunity.
Because I suppose we certainly see it here where someone inquires about our services and we look at we talk to them about the opportunity, and there really isn't one there. What they're doing it doesn't really align with what we're delivering, and yet, in the long term, we want to continue to know who they are. They're still a valid company, and at some point there might be a reason they would want to do business to us. We want to look at doing that kind of that marketing you talked about with the jeweler, right? That we want to keep them as an account, and yet that particular today's not the right time for us to do business together, right? So I see that there is a kind of an opportunity is a little more serious than just creating an account for someone. Or as you said, accounts could be created by purchasing of lists or something, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So what are the typical, within an opportunity, what are the typical kind of custom design fields that we've done for some other clients?
We have added information for the solar company. We added information about what the client purchased, so that the caller would be able to easily talk to them about their satisfaction and a referral. For the jeweler, we've added fields to show when they were called and fields to show what their interests were.
Okay, it sounds like some standard stuff, but also very important, a great way of keeping relevant information in front of. I see in the case of the solar company, it could be someone who's not previously been associated with that account, but now has immediate access to that information in history, so that they can have an intelligent conversation with the client, right? No more of that. Well, you called me. Why don't you know what I have? Right now, everybody in the company does, because it's right there in the opportunity. Correct?
Correct.
All right. So tell me, one thing I notice within this is there are stages within the opportunity. How do those work? There it is. This one's a prospect.
Let's go ahead and open it. This one is a prospect. When you have stages within an opportunity, you can assign a probability percentage to the different stages so that you can work your pipelines. This particular one is a prospect. This client has also allowed you to qualify the client, so their probability goes up a little bit more. When you actually win them, it's 100%, or if you lose them, it will be 0%.
Okay, so let me ask you, how do others gain insight into my pipeline and my opportunities?
Okay, we can do that through a dashboard and through reports. Management has a different view than the salesperson has.
Okay, so can you show me a typical dashboard?
I certainly can. Let me get this. Okay, this would be an employee dashboard. The employee would be able to look at this and see what their leads are, whether they're hot, warm, or cold. They'd be able to see how many days those leads have been at certain statuses or stages, and they can also see what they've sold. This dashboard is fully customizable so that you can put in anything that you want to, whatever you think is important for your employee to view. When the employee clicks on this dashboard, it opens up the report with the information on each lead or sale, and they can go directly to that lead screen from that report.
Okay. What about an example of a custom report?
A custom report, okay. We can do reports with formulas so that you can see. I'm sorry, I didn't. We can show you formulas to give you totals and how much is left to. In this case, we looked at all the deals that were approved, how many had advances, and how much had been funded, and how much was left to be funded during a certain period of time. And we can also do reports on I apologize. I apologize for this.
Oh, no, it's quite all right.
From this slide. Okay. We can also do what they call joined reports. This is actually 4 reports joined together on the customer ID, so we can see exactly what stage that customer is at. In this particular case, 2 of these customers were canceled. One has gotten all the way through. It has not been funded yet, so we know exactly how much money is coming in for this client. They had 79 sales, 69 of them were not canceled, 68 of them have not been completed, and this is how much money they should be receiving from those sales.
All right. Now what about, clearly, at least I know around here, management's always interested in what do the sales funnels look like of all the people in a particular city or a particular region or a particular vertical market. What might a dashboard look like for my management team?
This is a sample dashboard that was done for another company. They were looking at their current monthly sales, the number of jobs that had been completed and canceled, and also what their funding was for the current month. We also wanted a detailed report on how much had been funded by region, and we were able to color code this so that if the region did not meet the criteria that they had said as being acceptable, it would be in red, and green if it had surpassed what they had expected.
I was going to say, I'm not in management for this company, but I can tell at a quick glance from this dashboard that that needle's not near close enough to the green as I'd want it to be. So clearly there's some work to be done and some things that some individual managers might want to address. Well, excellent. Well, Samara, I want to thank you for giving us a demo through that. I noticed we've had a couple questions come in during that, and we'll address those at the end and let Samara chime in on those. So with that being said, Derek, I'll let you make me the presenter again, and I will take us back to the slideshow. And here we are. So, you know, our strategy with Salesforce is, again, as Samira mentioned with kind of with the interview process, is we work with your staff. We want to understand your objectives and use our knowledge of the Salesforce platform, combined with your knowledge of your business process and your market, to really design a solution that meets your specific needs. Certainly, the native Salesforce app, as you subscribe to it, from their cloud, is fairly robust. A lot of common features, data elements that are associated with almost any client. So contacts, name and address and phone numbers. All of those are going to be standard included in Salesforce. But it's us, working with you to help design and improve those workflows so that you really get the most out of your Salesforce solution. Again, we'll customize, integrate, and deploy the Salesforce solution, making sure that your data is imported correctly and that you're getting the most from your investment. Likewise, after the deployment, right, after Salesforce is implemented and you're using it, we can help provide the ongoing support for your CRM, including adding new users or adding new features as your business grows. We know that we've had situations here at All Covered where we've been on actually both sides of the acquisition strategy, where we have acquired some smaller some other companies in markets where we weren't present yet, and we ourselves were acquired by Konica Minolta just about 5 years ago. So we needed to integrate our client bases with those of the companies that we had acquired, and needed some help in doing that as we use the system internally. So those are kind of natural things that we can help with if you're already a Salesforce user and you're just looking for someone to provide that ongoing support and additional integration. We're happy to help with that as well. If you look at our Salesforce development offering, it's really a full service. We're a full service shop, whether it's initial setup of accounts, contacts, leads, opportunities, helping import your products and your price books so that those are synced right in, getting quotes out, synchronizing to Outlook and to Office, and dealing with campaigns and kind of the outbound marketing, email leads, integrating the electronic signature. All of those are solutions that we have delivered to our client base in the past. And of course, we offer customization services of workflows, email templates, reporting, user security and permissions. Again, as Samira showed, some custom dashboards. Management within every organization could be looking at different items. I know from our own experience that in certain verticals, longer sales cycles are expected. So we're not, things don't show up on the radar if they're outstanding opportunities for longer periods of time. So again, all of these things can be customized and tweaked. The Office integration and integration with multiple App Exchange applications, and social network, the ability to get leads from Facebook and LinkedIn, and to send content out via those sources, are things that we're seeing more and more of using ourselves and helping our clients do that. So again, we thank you for your time today. We appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about Salesforce and what a great CRM tool it is, but also the additional services and help that we can provide in customizing and tailoring it to your particular way of doing that. So with that being said, if you have any additional questions, please feel free to submit those via the chat window. And in the meantime, we've got some that are coming through right now. So let me read those out, and we'll let Samira answer those. So it looks like we have one specifically on, can you talk more about the integration with Office and Outlook? So Samira, can I turn that one over to you?
Yes. Salesforce integrates very smoothly with Office and Outlook, especially with Outlook. The email client that comes with Salesforce that you turn on is great. It allows you to actually be in Outlook and view the customer's contact information and their sales history, any opportunities, or anything that's available is visible in Outlook from Salesforce. It's easy to link your emails that are coming in from the client back to the Salesforce record, and it's also easy to link the emails that you're sending to the client into the Salesforce record itself.
All right, terrific. Now we had a question on with the leads, do the point of contacts come in with the lead into the record?
Yes, they do. If the data is there, the contact will be entered. The contact is entered.
So we would if they were gathering that information, say from their web or from a purchase list, it's really a matter of capturing that, as you say, at the point of entry. So if they're putting that in from the web, they would want to specify the point of contact, and then you and your team will map that field either from the web front end or from the list or the data to that particular field in Salesforce and push it right through, correct?
Correct.
All right, excellent. Looks like Derek's writing down a few other questions for me here. So let me grab those from him, and we'll get those answered as well. All right, so we have a question about, what's the do we know much about the back-end technology of Salesforce? My understanding it's a SQL database of some sort, but perhaps you can elaborate. And then the question was about, what about reporting? What are the tools we're using? I don't know if we're using some standard stuff like Crystal Reports, or are there reporting tools unique to Salesforce that you're involved in helping customize those reports?
Okay. Salesforce is actually not SQL, but it's very easy to use and to migrate data between it and SQL Server. The reporting that's available in Salesforce is very easy to use. You do have to generate queries and make those available to your users, so that you can actually keep your users from seeing what you don't want them to see by creating the queries that you want. And the reporting, each user can actually generate their own reports, or you can create reports that are available to a group of users. It's really not very difficult to do. You can do matrix reports, and you can do tabular reports, and then you can do the joined reports, and you can also do graphs and charts.
Excellent. Now, one of the things that we haven't mentioned much here is training. I imagine that as part of the consulting and the onboarding, you're able to provide training to the client on not just use of the system, but also help them document that, as well as perhaps specialized training on the things that you've mentioned, the reporting, and whether it's creating standardized reports and distributing those, or creating custom reports. Tell me a bit about what kind of training we're able to offer as part of the solution.
We create training documentation for the end users, and we also will work with them one-on-one, training on writing reports and using the email templates. Anything that's available in Salesforce, we can help the users understand.
We had a question come in about what kind of report, I guess what kind of outbound report files it can create. Specifically, can we export data out like in XML format and JSON files? I'm not familiar with
JSON files.
Yep, there you go. Glad you are. So can we send data out in those formats, XML and JSON?
I know that you can send them out in XML files. I'm not positive about the JSON. I would have to check. I've not done that before.
All right, you're a step ahead of me. At least you know how to pronounce the word. So, but again, it's been a while since I've put my hands in a real database. So, yeah. So it looks like we can export in some standard formats. Specifically, we'll have to get an answer on the JSON. All right. Well, it looks like you've been kind to us today. You're not beating us up with the hard technical questions, but hopefully we've given you something to think about. Again, if you have any additional questions and would like to speak to one of our services consultants who can help set up that initial meeting and discuss with you the services that we can provide around Salesforce, using Salesforce as your CRM tool, customizing Salesforce, and providing the ongoing support and services around Salesforce. We'd love to have that opportunity to discuss that with you. Again, our number is here. This is our main sales line. Mention that you're specifically interested in our Salesforce consulting solutions, and that you're on the webinar, and that will help our team get you to the right folks who can set this up and further this discussion with you. With that, we'll let you go now. We appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you on one of our upcoming webinars. Thank you, everyone, and take care.